Hey everybody, welcome back to MTG Killer Bees. It is the night before the day before Brawl comes out on Arena, and this week has been some big announcements for Magic, so I kind of wanted to talk about them while we do a little bit of Arena play. So I'm just going to do a basic play here with one of my favorite decks, which is a white-black zombie-based deck. So this week we had the ban announcements for Standard, and of course the Field of the Dead got banned because the deck was basically dominating Golos, Tireless Tracker, and Field of the Dead was basically 40% of the field at the last Magic Fest. So obviously that had to go. I'm curious as to how Oko is going to shape up in the next couple of tournaments, because I think that is now the next deck to beat. I'm going to get rid of this. So, I guess we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the next big announcement was the new format in Magic the Gathering Paper and in MTG Online, and that is the Pioneer format. Oh great, this is a mill deck. So they explain the Pioneer format as basically what Modern was envisioned to be when Modern was first announced. So if you don't know the story, when Modern first came out, the whole idea behind it was going to be a format you could play your standard cards that had just rotated out while not having to commit to the craziness of Legacy or Vintage, which is even crazier. And when Modern first came out, the oldest set was 18 years old, which was Alpha at the time. Now, I'm going to lose this game. Now, the oldest deck that's legal in Modern, not deck, the oldest set that's legal in Modern is 16 years old. So we're at a point right now where Modern is almost as old as Legacy was when they created Modern. So it's kind of a good time to do this update. What is that? All that glitters. Okay. I'm not going to win this anyway. Oi. So, the Pioneer format is a new Eternal format. They claim Modern is going to be sticking around, even though when I think of something that's modern, I don't think of something that's 16 years old. It's weird to say, but 2003 isn't very modern anymore. Yeah, just gonna lose next turn, so let's get another game going. And obviously Modern has problems with a lot of the crazy sets that came out during its tenure. New Phyrexia and that whole block comes to my mind immediately. And then, of course, the fetch lands. Some people like them. I hate them. I think they're the worst part about Modern. I don't think building a deck should cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just for the mana base. That's crazy. So I'm actually kind of excited for Pioneer in Paper. Ooh, this is risky. Whatever. So Pioneer is going to be everything from Return to Ravnica forward, with the exception of there'll be no, I don't want that. There'll be an initial ban list, which includes the 5 friendly fetch lands. I can't remember the set they were printed in, but the enemies are not legal in Pioneer because they weren't printed after Return to Ravnica, and then the fetch lands, the friendly fetches, will be banned right off the bat, which I think is a great move because their reasoning was having shocklands and fetchlands in the same format makes incredibly powerful, crazy fast mana bases, and the games end up being shorter and less dynamic, which obviously is true, but I think the underlying reason that they weren't talking about was the cost. You know, fetch lands only get reprinted in, well, did only get reprinted in master sets, and now who knows if they're ever going to get reprinted again. He gets to cast that until next turn. So we're going to do this, I think. Yeah. So, Pioneer is looking to be a friendlier Eternal format. Something for people who don't want to keep updating their decks every year for Standard. God dang it.
I could take it.
And then sorry, I lost my train of thought. Some people don't want to keep updating their decks every year for Standard, spending the money on new cards all the time, but have some cards that are relatively new-ish. Return to Ravnica is not new, but it's not old compared to other things in Magic. I guess I should play a land. So I'm actually pretty excited about the format and paper. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the decks shake out. Tron is gone because Tron hasn't been printed after Return to Ravnica. So I'm going to be playing at my local game store. It's also coming out on Magic the Gathering Online. Which brings me to the points I wanted to talk about with Arena. Now, I like Arena, but some of the choices they've made with it still baffle me, and it's some of the weirdest things. Like, Arena is... it's basically Standard only right now. Yes, you could argue there's Historic, but nobody plays that. It doesn't even have very much support. You have to dig through the menus to be able to find it, and you can't play tournaments with it except rarely. It's just... it's not great. So, my first question would be, do they plan to bring Pioneer to Arena? And I think they should. It would be an incredibly good idea. Let's see, do I need that? 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna put this on Gideon. Obviously they probably don't have all those sets ready yet to be added to Arena, but I would be hoping that they'd be working on it, because Magic Online is...
I believe in you, friend.
It's played by a niche group of people, and they like it, but the interface is terrible. Like, it's very showing its age. I still don't know why Arena wasn't just a interface update for Magic Online. It should have been. And then you could have had all the formats without having to build an entirely new... Oh, I don't want to exile my own guy because I want to get him back. Oh well. Well, having to build an entirely new program and then having a split user base, it's so weird. So I have like this love-hate relationship with Arena right now. On the one hand, I love the interface. I like seeing these cards like come to life. I think that's really cool.
I believe in you.
Let's do vigilance. On the other hand, you know, the cards, some of the cards I really loved have now rotated out, and their quote-unquote support for it is just cursory. It's bullcrap. Second thing with Arena I want to talk about, and comment if you guys have thoughts on Pioneer. If you like it, if you don't like it, what about it do you like or not like? All in all, just to finish that thought up, I think it's good for both Magic Online and paper, and I wish it were coming to Arena. So the second point with Arena I wanted to make was, Brawl. So, if you didn't know, Brawl is coming out officially on Arena tomorrow, which is the 24th of October. And when that comes out, they're going to have a week-long like little celebration where there's an event you'll get to play and blah 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 blah. All that's good. The problem comes, dang it. Anyway, the problem comes with after this event. What is the support for Arena going to look like? We don't know at this point. We know kind of what they're going to be doing, and it doesn't really inspire me that much right now. So after the event, you'll only be able to queue for Brawl games on Wednesdays. Ah, that sucks.
Prepare for battle.
What do I got here? Could bring that back. Anyway, you'll all be able to queue for Brawl games on Wednesdays, which I think is crazy. You'll be able to play Brawl games other days only if you direct challenge people you already know. And since they're not releasing the friends list yet, you basically have to talk to somebody on the phone or text them, get their friend code, and blah 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 blah. And then if you direct challenge somebody, you get no rewards for it. So they keep saying they want to make Brawl a thing, and yet they're doing this, and it's gonna be basically dead in the water. I don't understand what their thinking is. And going back a couple steps to Pioneer, with Brawl, I really wish they would expand Brawl to be at least historic, but bring in Pioneer and then make Brawl Pioneer as well. Ugh. Because the way Brawl works, having it only standard is terrible. Because like what I was talking about before with Standard and Oko's just going to rule Brawl too. Because in Brawl you can have your commander be a planeswalker instead of a legendary creature like is Standard and Commander. So why wouldn't you choose Oko? He's super easy to build around. He only costs 3, and by some accounts, he's the most powerful planeswalker ever printed. I wouldn't go that far, but he's definitely up there. He's very strong. Like Jace the Mind Sculptor strong. So what other decks are going to be able to face off against that? Well, I lost this game now. And since Arena is generally more competitive than like sitting at a table with 3 friends and your commander decks, why wouldn't you play Oko? They're either going to have to ban it or they're not going to have to give a shit about Brawl, which I think is the route they're going to take. Their half-ass support of Brawl is just going to continue. Oh boy, so I have no cards in my hand. Dang it. Those are kind of my thoughts on Pioneer and Brawl in Arena and Arena Standard. Just some quick stuff. Oh, and there are live events coming around. That doesn't help me. I'm just going to concede this game and we'll wrap it up here. So, if you've watched this channel at all, you know Commander's my favorite format. There are live events now called Command Fest, and the first ones are taking place in the first weekend of November. I'm actually going to the Chicago one with a friend, and there is another one in Seattle the same day, and there is another one later in the month. I can't remember where, but if you really like Commander, you should look those up and go. It's $45 for the Chicago one for a single day pass, and you get the fancy Soul Ring promo. So I'm just hoping a lot of people show up because I want the Command Fest to keep happening because I love Commander. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Those are some killer bees.